Hello! Welcome back to Pesterquest! Woo! Welcome, Igor Umbra. Welcome, anyone viewing anonymously. It is a good old Pesterquest evening once again. 1 a.m. and you are alive. Fuck yes. Yeah, it is Pesterquest time. It is Jake English time. Let's see, we can get that off the screen. Yeah, not much in terms of news, because, it's only been a day since yesterday's stream. But we do have this, which is neat. Hussey is showing up for the Nevada primary, which is today, for Bernie, which is fucking sick, by the way. If you are a resident of the U.S. who is able to vote in this primary, please vote for Bernie. It is my humble opinion. And we got this little bonus shot of him in front of Circus Hotel and Casino, because clowns. Although, when I saw this, I immediately was like, oh my god, I know this place, because I was remembering a nightmare story from a YouTuber who I followed, who took a trip through the US and then came back and was like, y'all would not believe this place. It was fucking, oh my god, a lot to handle. So that's pretty much that, though. That's kind of all for community news. All the rest of this is little things to look at throughout the Jake route. So I suppose it's time to switch over to the game window. Hi, Max. How much for the ape? I feel that I should know this reference, but it's not clicking. What the fuck am I doing here? Nope, that's good, that's fine. Yep, it's working. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Game going. The characters stay at the Circus Hotel during their stay. I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the way that this person described it in their video was just it was really vivid, the way they described the lobby, especially, the incredibly loud circus music and the weird lighting and lots of children screaming everywhere. Oh my god. That's the thing one of the characters says while on a trip on way too many drugs. Oh dear. Alright. So we've got, I think I just forgot to talk about this because I was already used to it. It passed over my head. We did Jane's, but they, made the icons smaller. They moved some things around, so that we now have room for 2 neat little rows, including the Alpha Kids. Because before they were too big. They didn't have room for the Alpha Kids. Now, there is room. That's right. Adventure! Volume 12? Aw, shit, I put the stream title wrong. That's fine. Oh, well. So, hopping right in here, we are getting right down to business in the forest, the jungle surrounding Jake's abode. All you wanted to do was make a new friend, and now you're running like hell from a giant white creature with 2 heads, each sporting a single garish eye. Kind of like a Cyclops, except with 2 of the one-eyed faces, so you guess it's a duo Cyclops? Of course, the name used in the comic is Bicyclops, which just makes me think of a bicycle. Whatever it is, it's angry as hell and it's chasing you through a tangled jungle. You leap over a stand of ferns and duck under one of those big woody vines jungles always have. After befriending Jane, you asked her for the names of some of her friends. Not too many details, you made that mistake with Solix. Just a little tantalizing friendship, amuse-bouche? Pronunciation? To get you started. Specifically, you were interested in the friend that needed her help daily. Now that sounded like some fertile ground for a relationship. You kind of regret bringing it up though, because Jane got very flustered telling you about Jake. It's clear that her friendship with this guy is a topic of some emotional turmoil. Well, who better to help sort it out than you, everyone's friend. But instead of friendship, you've been greeted by a number of ferocious white monsters. Your garbled brain offers up that you probably pissed off this kid's Lucis. Except this is Earth? Between different planets, different universes, and the mess of timelines in your memory, you're having a hard time figuring out. You trip over a big root and slant smack on your face in the dirt. You choke on decaying plant matter, clawing at your throat and rolling over onto your back just in time to see the duo Cyclops about to bring down one huge foot right on your vulnerable body. Rip. Are you allowed to start over if you haven't even made a branching choice yet? You cover your eyes. Oh, well, what's this? Nothing happens. After a moment of Olympic-level breath-catching, you venture a peek. The duo Cyclops is in pieces on the ground. 2 pieces. You hope the thematic resonance offered it some comfort during such a brutal end. Oh, specifically, the characters are at a bar that's made up as a carousel, just as the mescaline kicks in. Ah. You scramble to your feet. Your future new friend, Jake, must have intervened to save you. You look around for him, but there's another swoosh noise and a glint of metal, and something inhuman appears in front of the duo Cyclops' body. I did not think we were going to see Dirkbot. Or what's it called? Brobot. I did not think that we were going to see Mr. Metal Dirk. But here he is, and he's wearing pants. I just realized that he's wearing pants in this, rather than the comic illustration, which is just full metal legs. But, this illustration is really good. I love it. But, indeed, here is... See, now I'm feeling like I got this fucking name wrong. I don't know why, I just have the feeling that I didn't quite get that right. I think Brobot is correct. My searches are not. Wow, that was a lot of typos. You can't... Yeah, it is called Brobot. I don't know why I felt like I was getting it wrong. Yes. Brobot is here. And this sprite is very good. But yes, it was not Jake English saving us. It was the sword of one robot. It's a robot. Kind of a cartoony one with shiny metal joints and big red anime sunglasses. It even has a perfectly gelled metal hairstyle. Honestly, it looks pretty goofy, but it's also holding a katana and staring right at you. You think you saw something similar broken all over the floor of Equius's room. It must be a battle robot, and you don't have the strength of your punchiest friend. So, as is typical, we'll get the short end knocked out of the way, and then I'll let you have free reign to choose our second option, our second branching path. So, you know, I feel like this one doesn't really play any games as to which one is the right answer. Challenging a giant, not giant, but you know, challenging a hard metal robot, maybe not the best idea. Challenge the robot. Fight, 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 fight. Oh, you'll see how this turns out. With a yell, you charge forward, waving your arms intimidatingly. Yeah, it's a robot. It's not scared. The robot implacably waits for your approach, then strikes out in one swift motion, too fast to see. You crumple to the ground, your world exploding in pain. You huddle into a ball, waiting for the robot to finish you off. But it's not interested. It zooms away, leaving you to your agonies. In the bursts of lucidity available to you, you discern that it has kicked you in the chest, breaking several of your ribs. No problem. That's totally a survivable injury. Reference to the multiple broken ribs at the beginning of High Swap Friendsome. You'll be fine and ready to get your friendship Katamari rolling again in no time. You're just gonna lie here for a bit first, just to gather your strength. Some way to visualize how you pictured MSP readers' attempt at intimidation went. It is tempting for me to make a little animation of that, because I think it would be fucking funny as hell, yeah. But yeah, like, he technically survived, but, like, you know, there is a small caveat, which, you know, they're about to go into. Just gonna lie here. Too injured to run, surrounded by ferocious beasts, and leaking delicious, aromatic blood. Just for a minute or two. Monster bait. Game over. Oh, look at this little guy. Look at this poor little fella. Dog scratch, but yeah, he survived the dog scratch stuff. But, pardon me. Sorry, I've had a very long day. I napped earlier so that I would be awake enough to stream in the first place. I only got like 4 hours of sleep because I went to bed. I couldn't get to sleep until 4, and then I had to get up at 8 for work, and then I did a 4.5 hour shift, which is not, you know, a wildly long shift, but it's a decent day of being on my feet a bunch. Okay. Do not challenge the robot. That's a bad idea. You default to your old standby. Cowering. You shrink back, hands raised in the universal symbol for whoa now. Shit, no horse pun intended. For some reason, the thought of Equius and the presence of this robot are making your brain go right to horses. Suddenly, a shot rings out behind you. It sounds so stupid that you almost don't believe it, but it's true. Who is shooting a gun at a robot? The robot makes a little startup noise and raises its katana into a ready stance. A blur of green and khaki charges out of the jungle and tackles the robot full in the stomach. It doesn't fall to the ground. Instead, it puts the kid, a human you can now see, so probably this Jake guy, into a headlock. He struggles, lashing at it with his elbows and kicking at its ankles. The robot proceeds to beat the kid up. There's no reason to describe it in detail. It's unpleasant to watch and it makes you feel really bad. You didn't even know there could be a polar opposite of acquiesce, but this kid is it. The robot is super effective against him. This robot is super effective against him. Work with what? Oh, I'm in retail. So it's a clothing place, so you know. Folding things, putting things away, running all over the place. Yeah, must not fight. Yeah, fighting, not a great idea. Not a great idea for Jake to attempt either, as we are seeing. Well, as we are reading. You have to stop it, but there's too much action for you to get close. Even if you could reach Jake, there's no way you could zap him out of there without bringing the BattleBot with you. Except, things have been weird lately. The accepted rules of your power no longer seem so inviolable. Maybe you can just do it? You close your eyes and think really hard about bringing Jake with you. Boom! There he be! There's the boy. When you open your eyes, a young man stands in his bedroom. Wait, is it Jake's birthday? No. What? You shake your head in consternation. Anyway, you manage to bring Jake and only Jake into the house. He stands there clutching his side and panting, recovering from the robo beatdown. I just need a hot second to blow my nose, and then I will be back. Y'all, in the meantime, can appreciate the kick-ass fucking music that just started playing. Hello, I am back. That is much better. Must run, yes. Abort mission. Absolutely. That was really the smartest option there. My goodness. Too much time talking to customers today. Mentioned Olive Reddit that you realized immediately what kind of kid you were dealing with here. Even having never met Jake before, you could tell that this kid was related, even before realizing you were on the island. Nice. See, that's good fucking storytelling right there. Yeah, the adventure movies, the firearms, the blue woman, and also the Hulk. Yeah. Here is the mysterious Jake. We haven't gotten to his letter in Homestuck yet, in the Homestuck read. I think that's in... Shit, is that in Act 4 or Act 5? It's in Act something. It's somewhere in the general vicinity of those two acts, but it's a very exciting moment to get to. Also, this song, so good. It's so perfect for Jake. And it's like, I love the way that they've mixed like a couple different motifs or like melodies from other songs, and like the general, like the instrumental composition, and like mixing all the, I don't know music terms, but this is really fucking nice. This is Toby Fox, by the way. This is from Toby Fox, and I'm like 99% sure this is a brand new song. I did not recognize this song, and I did not recognize the name, and I have obsessively listened to the fucking Homestuck soundtrack for approximately 8 years at this point, so like pretty certain this is a new song, which is very exciting. Only posters on the walls that were not related to any of that were Ghost Rider and Weekend at Bernie's. Oh. Yeah, he really fucking loves Weekend at Bernie's. And they're, God, I still can't believe his land, okay? His land, Lomax, Land of Mounds and Xenon? Bernie Lomax is the name of the guy from Weekend at Bernie's. I cannot fucking, oh my god. That was one of the big, wow, holy shit, new discovery moments of the first Homestuck reread streams. Way back in 2018, Jesus Christ, was being like, wait a second, what? Of all the places to make a reference like that. Is it a common thing? Oh, Stargate National Treasure, Stargate The Mummy, Tomb Raider, yeah. Is it a common thing to have posters in bedrooms? I mean, I think so, but like, I am personally sitting in a bedroom covered in posters to the point where I'm running out of room. Nothing is overlapping, and I definitely could have maybe economized the space a little bit more, but I've been postering up my walls since, I'd say 2012. 2012 was the year that I went to my very first convention. And it's gotten to the point where when I go to conventions now, I have to force myself not to get more posters because I don't have any fucking space. But I've also got 3 years of Homestuck calendars cut apart and pasted up on my walls, because like the 4 fans, buy fans, like the fucking posters and shit, they're so expensive. But if you buy the calendar, you get 12, you know, smaller posters, and they're all fucking sick. So I've got 2017 through 2019 in the Homestuck calendars cut apart and put up on my walls, which is taking up a great deal of space. So I've got the same problem as Jake. Indeed, I do have the same problem as Jake, except I am not going to, I will never overlap my posters. I also can't put anything on my ceiling because it's stucco. But, yeah, that's the state of things here. It's like it's a combination of like posters from conventions and CD leaflets. Y'all remember CDs, like the physical music thing? God, if I have ever sounded like a fucking boomer, that was it. Anyway, and you know, a couple business cards I thought were pretty. Some like postcard size things, like at convention tea parties. Like Lolita fashion tea parties, they'll often do like a postcard size print as one of the commemorative things for the occasion. Everyone gets this little postcard with some original artwork, and so I got a bunch of those on my wall. Yeah, that covers it, I think. Maybe it's just not a thing in Brazil. I mean, yeah, Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's not a thing. I know that it's not a thing for everyone here. I feel like it's like a fandom culture thing. In like US and Canada, but not so much any other sort of like poster type thing. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it too much. You remember cassettes because you're so old. No, I also remember cassettes. I was young, but I did own many cassettes. I don't know why I have such specific memories of one in particular. That was, that song that's like, Do the Locomotion. I don't know if anyone else knows it. But I had that on cassette, and I just, like, fucking love that. Because it's, like, it's a really energetic song, so when I was, like, a little kid, I was like, fuck yeah! In not so many words. Yeah, I still buy CDs. I still prefer CDs. Because then I just fucking have it. Then I just fucking have it. And I don't have to worry about a license expiring and, you know, it getting taken down off of a streaming service, or having to pay every month for a streaming service, or it getting, like, ripped off of YouTube for copyright. I still listen to a lot of music on YouTube, and I still have to deal with that regularly. But I'm not paying for YouTube music. I will just listen to whatever is there until it gets taken down for copyright, and then I'll find somebody else who uploaded it. Anyway, I was getting a little off track. But, sweet Jake has been very patiently waiting for me to stop talking about CDs and posters. The guy's bedroom is so covered in movie posters, it's hard to even see the shape of the walls. The floor is littered with weaponry. A lot of the kids you've met live like this, basically lounging around in piles of detritus pertaining to their character-defining interests. Anyway, it's clear to anyone who sees this room that he absolutely fucking loves movies and guns. You don't need to waste any time on exposition there. This fucking kid. First words out of his goddamn mouth in the entire route are Jeezum Creezum. Ooh, we have an uwu. Okay, so I guess I am reading Jake's introductory lines in an uwu voice. All right. You looked at Jake's fringe and you can't stop now. That's true. I hadn't noticed before that it's like, it's got that little thingy there. Okay. Jeezum Creezum. You are white over there? Over there, my chromatically challenged chappy? Yo, fine. Jake is the one who seems hot. That wobot wee did a number on him. I'll say, confounded thing practically never doesn't do a number on me. Confounded thing practically never doesn't do a number on me. It does so many numbers it does so many numbers, it's one short of a standing ovation down on Broadway Ave. I'm just glad I could be there to help. Wife is always just a smidgen easier with a bro's help. Oh my god, this is the best fucking lines in this Pesterquest. Wife is always just a smidgen easier when a bro's helping hand firmly placed on your behind. Oh my god. Life is always just a smidgen easier with a bro's helping hand firmly placed on your behind. Wording. Jake, thank you. With a friend behind you is what I mean to say. Oh, sure. Okay. There's your uwu redemption. Oh, that fucking line though. It's like, that fucking line is like up in there with like Dave fixating on Kargat's mouth. Friends. Oh, so many friends. Oh my goodness. Jake doesn't really seem fazed by any of this. Not the alien monsters on his island, nor your presence, and not his ungainly defeat at the hands of an anime robot. Not even by you teleporting him around. Well, sure, my good buddy Jane told me you might drop by. And honestly, I've been chomping at the proverbial bit to meet you, old feller me lad. Old feller me lad? I'm sure Janie showed you a good time, as she is a stand-up host and a top-notch friendo. An absolute... Oh god, this line makes me so uncomfortable. An absolute wonder wench, and no doubt about it. Ugh. Jake, no. God. But gosh, I've just been so gung-ho to show a brand new personage around the old digs. Get it? I live in a ruined temple, so it's literally digs. Oh my god. Nudges you with a meaningful elbow and gives you a hearty raising of the brows. Did he just say that out loud? He did. Well, here you are, ready to be shown around the ruined temple. Where to first? Oh, let's not actually go there. You know, I'm no stranger to danger, but there's nothing like a man's familiar four walls to give him a feeling of peace and quietude. We'd better hide out for a bit. Just a tactical withdrawal whilst my robo-buddy and the usual monster menagerie are out and about. Right, the monsters. You can't help but notice that this is the same island where Jade lived. But instead of one big white creature custodian like Beck, Jake has lots. Trying to be culturally sensitive, you tell him it must have been nice to have such a big family. Jake looks perplexed. I reckon it must be nice. I can't say I've ever had one, though. If family's what you're looking for, you couldn't have picked a worse place to mount your search. There's about as much familial spirit in my locale as cows in a cornfield. Which is to say there's simply none to be seen. Oof, ouch, my heart. His face is bachelor-like. It's an interesting way to describe it. Oh, shit. You misinterpreted things. So Jake really just lives here alone? That must be hard. I'll say. As another of my friends could tell you, there's nothing worse than being a teen stranded alone in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Double rip. My grandma used to live here with me, but she died long ago. You think of your friend John, or rather his corpse, standing ceremonially in Jane's living room. Same house, similar kids. Same island, mysteriously dead grandma. It's not hard to put two and two together and come up with your dead friend Jade. It's a gut punch, even through the inexorable passage of time. Even though the inexorable passage of time means that, of course, you could zap to the future and visit time periods where all your friends are dead if you wanted. You guess that's kind of what you did to your old friends by skipping forward so many years in Alternia. Wow, you're kind of starting to hyperventilate about this. 2 plus 2 equals Jade. Yeah. You focus hard on Jake, trying to pull yourself together. Luckily, he doesn't seem to have noticed anything is wrong with you. Jake seems like the kind of person who doesn't have room in his head to talk and notice other people at the same time. But I try not to complain. After all, things could be worse. I have all the cans a boy could ever want to cookalize. I get to romp in the pumpkin patch to my heart's delight. Plus, this island is the perfect setting for one of the coolest things in the world. That's right, adventure! The thrill of discovery, the frenzy of battle. It's the most fulfilling thing. It's the most fulfilling diversion of them all. Why, no boy of a sound disposition could feel sad about his perpetual isolation and the deadness attribute of his family members when the whole dark and teeming jungle is available for his dauntless exploration. Oh boy, describing it that way makes it really, you're repressing all of your emotions. Is that really what he thinks? You can't help but remember about 30 seconds ago when Jake said he didn't want to go out to the ruins. You're no problem, Sleuth, but Jake's room looks pretty lived in, not to mention the quantity of movie consumption suggested by his decor. You're about to respond when there's a horrendous clatter from down below. Jake freezes, a small animal caught in the headlights. You suspect the headlights are of the red anime glasses variety. Yeah, rim shot. Bottled up all the way down. Yep. This poor fucking bastard. We will get into Jake emotions. I promise you. That is all the hint I will give about what happens in this route. There's a lot of fucking emotions. Oh, fuck buttons. The Metal Maverick makes his return. Oh, fuck buttons. Oh, I love that so much. Oh, fuck buttons. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I want to pull that one out at some point. You know what I mean? That's a real good one. Listen, you look like a rum customer with primo getaway sticks. Fleeing is probably our best option here. You don't get it. The last guy you knew who made a habit of consorting with battlebots always bested them handily. Why would Jake make something he couldn't beat? Whoa! Jumpin' Jehoshaphat, I'm touched by your high opinion of my robotics know-how. No, I didn't make the robot. My best buddy did. He's a genuine whiz with tech of all kinds, and a real thoughtful guy, even though sometimes I wish he would apply some of that big brain box to helping me out just a touch more. He couldn't be here himself because of the physical limitations of time and space, so he sent the robot to train me. It's really nice if you think about it. I mean, at first I thought it was somewhat overbearing and unnecessary, but after Dirk explained it to me, I got that it was his way of being nice. You don't know what fuck buttons are, but it must be funny. It's completely fucking made up, and I love it. Hey, Jade, welcome. Jake! Yes, here's our boy, and we just got to the part where he starts talking about Dirk and the relationship between him and Dirk, in particular the robot. And it's, ooh. Alright, we have Uwu number 2. I'll start that on the next dialogue box. But yeah, that's like Jake is invalidating his own feelings towards Dirk's actions by being like, oh, well, he just meant it to be nice, even though it feels overbearing. Kind of oof. Yeah. Oof. I haven't seen that before, but that's so fucking good. The Jake spread is very, very good. It is. It's so good. I love it. Let's get that text box off the screen for a second. Look at that. Look at that good shit. Also, you can now see more of the floor in his room, too. But look at that shit. Hell yeah. This best friend sounds... Not everyone is as lucky as me to have three stalwart compadres to brighten their day when they live alone on a moto island. When you think about it, I'm just about the luckiest gent whoever was stranded in the Pacific with a passel of ferocious monsters and a killer robot. How did he get guns at all? Jade. I'm assuming they're all from Jade. He's related to Jade. It'd be stranger if he didn't have guns. Yeah. Pretty much. His music is vibing? Yes, it fucking is. It's so good. You guess someone could say that? If that someone was Jake. Another harsh sound from below reminds you of the urgency of... Oh, whoops, I totally forgot to keep ooh-ing. How many did I read that way? You guess someone could say that? If that someone was Jake. Another harsh sound from below reminds you of the urgency of the situation. You could easily teleport the two of you out of here, but, well, the creepy biotech chittering noises of drones still echoes in your memories. You've had some bad experiences trying to escape a killer robot with its eyes set on a friend. Escape via teleportation seems like a temporary solution at best. Sooner or later, Jake's probably going to have to face the robot. Is there some way the two of you acting together can take it down? Okay. That's ooh number 2. Sorry, I'm just getting comfy in my chair. You don't understand. It learns from your actions. Anytime I've even started to get the jump on that dad-burned chrome-ass sucker, it's just turned around and given itself a thorough school feeding on the topic of kicking my sweet Bippy. If we fight it together, it'll just learn how to fight 2 people. That was a voice crack, alright. If we fight it together, it'll just learn how to fight 2 people. And then when you leave me all by my lonesome, I'll be up shit creek with nary a paddle to be found. It's like that robot in The Incredibles. Except instead of being an absolutely fantastic work of cinematic art, it's my real life. Jeezum, creasum. Jake's friend is among the worst gift givers you've ever seen. Yeah, I gotta say, having a closer look at the whole robot situation, because if I remember correctly, we don't get quite this level of detail about the robot's involvement in Jake's life, in Homestuck proper. But thinking about it like this, god damn, Dirk. Dude, the fuck? There is just one thing we can do if a hasty retreat isn't what tickles your biscuit. The way this fucking kid talks. Okay. If we could find a way to turn on novice mode, it'll be easier to deal with. I usually don't do it, but I'd hate to subject a guest to the violent vicissitudes of a robotic rascal. I just can't remember how it's done. Oh, okay. So at least this friend included an easy mode. You were starting to think this guy was one of those gamers who thought easy modes cheapened the experience. God, fuck those people. But if he designed the thing with a novice mode, maybe he can remind Jake how to trigger it? Well, I have to admit, you really put your achromatic digit right on the crux of the matter there, amigo. Strider's a bang-up bro, and I won't utter a word against him, but he doesn't really like to offer help. That's not good. I imagine he'll think it's my fault for forgetting in the first place, and he probably won't want to give me the answer because then I won't learn the lesson that I shouldn't be so forgetful. He's really got Dirk down to a science here. So far with both of the alpha volumes, there have been a couple of pieces of characterization that I've been like, fuck yes, I remember this is exactly spot on. And a couple other things that I'm like, I feel like this was under-exaggerated or over-exaggerated. In this case, this being like the way that's painting how Dirk would respond in this particular situation. But also, I am the least familiar with the alpha kids of all of the Homestuck cast, which makes sense because they're only there for like half the comic, and a bunch of that comic time is back with the beta kids and the beta trolls and shit. And that was also the portion that I read live, like as it was updating. I read it serially rather than archivally, so I've had not as much time to know this information as I have had to know children. I mean the beta kids. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to getting to Act 6 in our reread streams. Just to have a little fun with comparing and contrasting with the Pesterquests. And kind of putting them next to each other and being like, God damn. If that makes any fucking sense. Wow. Okay. You are starting to form some tentative opinions about this Strider guy. That said, buddy-o, I think you stumbled on quite the slick solution to our woes. There's no shame in a brave adventurer asking for help when he's well and truly fucked. Yeah, that's true though. He's right. He's right. Maybe we can find someone willing to offer us their casa as a temporary abode? Oh, sure, you could do that. Maybe Jake could message Jane? Although, now that you think about it, given how Jane talked about Jake when you were there, it seems cruel to spring something like this on her with so little lead time to prepare herself. You don't want to fluster her too badly. You quickly backpedal, telling Jake that Jane seemed too busy when you were there last. Is there anyone else? Well, Roxy's probably zozzled by now. Zozzled? You know, pie-eyed, on a toot. Tying one on, deep in the gigawater, 3 sheets to the cold nor'easter. Those can't all be real things that people used to call being drunk. Oh, wait, she's drunk? Bingo was his name-o. So this is a common thing? And she's Jake's age? You don't want to make any assumptions, but that sounds, well, concerning. Yeah, plowed, plastered, soused, sauced, and many other creative names for having far too much alcohol in your system. And also, familiar. You remember what feels like a long time ago now, helping a girl symbolically trash her mother's liquor collection. Yes, the pieces are falling into place for MSPA Reader as to just what the situation is. Of course, alcoholism isn't that rare, but still, you're starting to feel like there's something strange about all these convergent circumstances. Yeah. Anyway, is Jake sure his friend is okay? Oh no, it's nothing like that. Roxy's just a fun and wacky gal. Oh, Jake. Sure, she dabbles in the devil's drink, but she always seems to be having such a good time. I wouldn't want to make any unfair assumptions about it. Oh, Jake. This hurts my heart. But it also, I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, ugh. I'm also remembering, I mean, like, I was younger. But I was in 9th grade, but I remember having friends who were, you know, like a year younger than me even, and doing into some stuff that they should not have been into at that age. Not substance-based. I don't want to talk about specifically what was going on. But, I was like this, you know, I was learning to not be judgmental of other people's decisions, right? Which is an important thing to learn. But, I have this attitude about it too, where I was just like, I don't want to be judgy of my friends for participating in this. But I look back on that and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. Children! Like fucking 13-year-olds. And I'm like, oh my god. No! That was not a moment to... Oh my god. There's someone from another time I'd love to have you say that to. Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, I understand the mindset that he's approaching this with, because I did some shit like that too, with, you know, things that 13, I mean, like, again, at a younger age, but, you know, I mean, like, I'm not going to be judgmental of my friends, and it's like, oh, but they really shouldn't, that's real bad, that's real bad, aww. Why do kids drink so young? You're 14, but you know that everyone drinks like an alcoholic. It's fucked up. Not even good. I mean, like, there's a lot of reasons that people get into drinking at such a young age. And I mean, like, it's, you know, it's the cultural thing of, like, the rush of doing something you know you're not supposed to. And then there's just, like, in general, drinking culture is a whole other... I mean, I can't really speak to actually doing that, because I just don't drink, never had an interest in it, and I don't quite understand alcohol culture, but I do understand, you know, that there's a lot of reasons, you know, like the number of reasons why young kids get into that kind of thing, right? Whether it's, you know, the doing something you know you're not supposed to, some kind of, like, peer pressure, you know, mental health issues, like, you know. Like, but yeah, there's a difference between not being judgmental of your friend and, like, still being like, hey, this is concerning and I care about you. You know. Never had it, never will. I mean, like, I've tried wine before. It tasted gross. And that's that. You know, I don't enjoy the taste of alcohol. I don't enjoy the smell of alcohol. I really don't like the idea of being, like, drunk, or, you know, especially to the point of, like, sloppiness. It's just that whole... It's just never appealed to me. It's like, I am a teen and I drink vodka. I am cool. Yeah, alcohol culture in high school is super fucky. In particular, that kind of alcohol culture that revolves around, like, getting super drunk and partying kind of thing. Because, like, I mean, I had friends in high school who did, like, drink responsibly. Like, they never got, like, super drunk. They just, you know, the couple glass of wine or whatever to chill. But, yeah, just, it's complicated. It's complicated, but, yeah, this, it's very important to know when to draw the line of, like, balancing, I'm not being judgmental of the fact that you're doing this, with, I care about you and I'm concerned about this, kind of thing. Not even gonna start with drugs and stuff. That's, I don't know shit fuck about that. That is, yeah, far out of my knowledge base. I don't think I even, yeah. I'm not gonna even try to speak to that. Like, the alcohol culture stuff is, like, very pervasive, but, like, that's a little bit more niche. But yeah, anyway. Oh, Jake, this is not the approach to take. My sweet summer child. Okay. I guess my sweet winter child, because his birthday is in December. Well, he is in the southern hemisphere. So that would be summer. I was correct in the first place. Never mind. Somehow this fails to make you feel better. I guess asking Strider for help is our only option. I just know he's going to be a complete pain in the keister about it. I'll have to butter him up like a morning muffin. Are you any good at manners of persuasion? Yikes. You want to understand where this kid is coming from, but you're reaching your limits here. Is that really all the friendship Jake has? If so, that is bleak. There's clearly some kind of feelings-based train wreck on the horizon for him and Jane. His friend Roxy is obviously having a crisis that Jake pretends not to see. And his friendship with Strider has more red flags than the People's Republic of China. Right. I think this is... because that was one thing that I was gonna Google. Yeah, because, you know, that's their flag is their red flag with the 5 stars on it and shit. I just wanted to make sure I was picturing the correct flag when I read that. Is this what Jake is willing to put up with just for companionship? He just pretends he doesn't see the huge issues in his friendships to keep the peace? I mean, like, it's not a super uncommon thing to do. Especially in Jake's situation where he's so fucking isolated. Like, those connections are so precious, no matter how flawed they are. He's, you know, he's terrified of being alone. Can't blame him. Is this what it looks like when someone is so indiscriminately hungry for affection that they're willing to go along with anything to get it? You've had about enough. You tell Jake you can't stand this anymore. This life that he has, it's not good. Not even close. He lost his family and he's scared to leave his house. His only company in real life is a robot that's programmed to hurt him, and he thinks it was a gift. It's not easy at all. It's difficult to stop it. Yeah, it is. Where the fuck am I here? Right. So, MSP Reader starts off like this, and I'm just like, yelling at someone about how bad their life is, not always productive. He seems unwilling to face the glaring flaws in his closest relationships. And all of this might be hard and sad, but it can't be helping Jake to be so deep in denial about it. He can't just cover this all up with cavalier optimism. There's no way that's the best way for him to live. Choose the next narrative action, so you get to pick which second option we go with, when we get to it. It's coming up. We're gonna get there, we're gonna take 5, and then we'll go with whichever one you would like, Max. You understand it must be scary when there seems to be structural flaws in every one of Jake's support pillars, but addressing them is the only way anything can get better, because this, hiding out in his room all alone and just pretending he has the support he needs, is not sustainable. You don't say this part, but if he keeps going along with what other people want him to be, you're scared for what's going to happen to him as he grows up. That can't lead anywhere good. Yeah, boy. After your rant, Jake stares at you, aghast. You start to feel bad. Yes, he probably needed to hear those things, but you could have guided him more gently. Yeah, starting off with telling him how much his life fucking sucks was maybe not the best way to do that. You're usually an expert at encouraging people slowly toward emotional growth, but this kid really got under your skin. But then Jake's face crumples. You're absolutely right. Oh. I am lying to myself. I manicure the image of myself as some brave adventurer, but I don't go out to the ruins unless I have to. And I suppose on some level I have suspected that things with Jane and Roxy and Dirk weren't exactly Jake. Wait, what? Oh, it's like a word that means good. It's just plain English. Jake English. This fucking kid! But yes, that is like an old English kind of use. Anyway, I guess I didn't realize how serious it was or how much I was really ignoring. Gee fucking willikers, it's not easy to hear that all this came across loud and clear to a complete stranger. That really makes me feel low. But I guess for a truly brave gentleman, the only thing to do is to try to do better from here on out. It's scary, but I do want to be the kind of person who is honest and forthright. A real hero. If I'm not doing that, then I need to figure out how to do that. Holy smokes, you've really opened my eyes, mixed mystery friend. Love the use of the gender-neutral mix. The band Less Than Jake got their name from. You've really got a knack for spotting problems. Do you think you could stick around and help me do better? It's like asking the sun if it minds shining. Helping people confront their buried issues and come out of it changed for the better? Why, that's the very thing you desperately latched onto to give your life some kind of purpose. But something about this feels off. Was your rant really all it took to turn things around for Jake? Did you really just fix him? It doesn't seem right. Definitely not good pacing anyway. Jake is looking at you with big green puppy eyes. You have to make a choice. And here is where we shall take our little 5-minute break. Max, decide which direction you would like to take us narratively first. I will turn off our music and our sound and pop up the break text. Boop. Agree to help? Alright, that's where we're headed after a 5-minute break. Alright, hello there folks. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I got distracted. Get that text off of that screen. It's getting you down. Oh no. Or maybe sleep would help. That is a good point too. It gets a little cheerier. Sort of, I promise. Cute things are to come. But first, let's agree to help. Of course you're going to help. Jake asked, didn't he? You think through your old bag of friendship tricks. Encouraging him to talk to people about his feelings? It'd probably be good, but it's a little complex. He has 3 different relationships with these kids, all with their own set of problems. And you're not convinced that Jake is really up for that confrontation yet. Your best bet is probably forging unlikely connections through your powers of teleportation and friend matchmaking. You think proudly of the time you introduced Dorea to Tysius, someone who struggled with the questions Dorea was facing, but found a more constructive solution. That's what you need. Not someone similar to Jake, but a good foil. Someone who will be able to call Jake on his avoidance. Fucking brace yourselves. You need the ultimate pull-no-puncher, an expert in tough love. You need Vriska Circuit. Y'all, I got so fucking mad. I got so fucking... I know, I saw it coming too, and I was like, fuck! Fuck! MSPA reader, knowing the whole situation between Vriska and Jake, and still doing this? Oh my god. The only way MSPA reader will learn that Vriska Circuit is not an infallible beacon of helping people. She's not very good at helping people, actually. She's kind of bad at it. You ask Jake if you might take the initiative to introduce him to another one of your friends. Someone who has the kind of take-no-bullshit approach that he needs to cultivate. Someone who can really help. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely! Lead on, buckaroo! You clap your hand matily on his shoulder and zap on over to Vriska. You expect her to be in her hive, but when your field of vision clears, you're at the beach again. You've appeared a diplomatic distance away, not right up in her face. Vriska is walking down the beach, hands in her pockets, occasionally aiming a disaffected kick at a piece of trash. You call out to her and wave her over. Her face splits into a grin at the sight of you. Does he remember reading Homestuck? MSPA reader does not remember reading Homestuck. But both, he's done both Vriska's and Tavros' routes from Pesterquest, right? Like, the Tavros route featured a lot of discussion about his relationship with Vriska and how she treated him. So, like, he knows what's up. You know, or they know what's up. Okay, time to read some Vriska ooh-woos. It gives you a warm glow, like you've befriended someone's mean cat who never gets along with visitors. Maybe more like someone's mean mountain lion. Hey there. Hi, Vriska. God. What is she doing on this beach? I came here looking for my stupid fish friends. Tewazi and I need an explosive device for a thing, and as much as I hate to admit it, and Poa isn't bad at making them. But he's not even here. I can't even find him the one time I ever want to see him. Ever. Figures. My so-called friends leaving me to do all the work again. This is the kind of self-starter energy Jake could really learn from. You remember Tavros? Yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty fair. Aside from like the conversations about Vriska, which there were a couple of parts I was like, I agree with your general thesis, but the way you're wording this is kind of weird. His route was... It was really feel good, but it didn't really take his character anywhere in the way that most Pesterquests have. And I mean, that's the part that's interesting, is the direction that it leads the character, right? It was... Yeah. It was a little bit... I hate to say it, but it was just like a touch forgettable. Just because while it was really amazing to... Like, I loved the good end. I loved it a lot. And there were some interesting character bits in some of the bad ends. I don't know, something about the general arc just kind of fell flat to me. And I feel like I'm not the only one who had that experience with it. Anyway, there's your ooh-woos. I'm getting a little bit faster now that I'm getting more practice at reading that way. Okay, here. I'll go up until Jake's first piece of dialogue. I'll keep ooh-wooing. As a treat. Speaking of, you started to introduce your friends to each other, but when you turn to Jake, he's frozen, his face caught in an expression of shock and wonder. Maybe you should have mentioned your friend was an alien? You keep forgetting to mention things like that. As you look at him, Jake rallies, snapping to such a ramrod posture you half expect him to salute. He opens his mouth to speak, then shuts it. You can talk to her. You prompt. It's okay. Yes. Righto. Holy smokes, I'm ruffled to the baby's bonnet to meet you, Miss Vriska. Miss Vriska, Jake, stop. I'm poised and trembling on the lip of your pit of knowledge, just ready to fall into the expectant abyss. I'm happy to learn whatever you can teach me. Although I must say, when my pal here intimated they had a friend who could help, I didn't expect her to be of such a blue and spidery persuasion. Oy, Jake. Of course. Why would anyone be anything else when they could be blue and spidery? Haha, you have a solid point there, my extraterrestrial associate. I hope you will pardon my candor, but a real gentleman doesn't hide from the truth. You may be the coolest girl I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh, Jake. Stop digging the hole. Clears throat nervously, hoping he didn't overstep. Oy! Well, I can't say I'm surprised to hear it. Feel free to keep listing things that are awesome about me. Oh, God, he is super feeding her ego. Despite his professed admiration for Vriska, however, Jake isn't listening. Hang on, wait, technically the only other girl I've ever seen was my grandma, but you know what I mean. It's kinda disrespectful to refer to one's own grandmother as a girl, so I didn't mean her. Ha, gosh, I seem to be rambling. Well, I hope this is a radiant exemplar of the kind of being true to myself I hope to cultivate as a regular habit from here on out. I think it can be very brave just to keep being yourself even when things feel awkward. Don't you think so? Oh, wow. There are so many things wrong with that. I don't even know where to start. Oh my god. That's fucking good, yeah. The bottle isn't enough, so now he's digging a hole. Oh my god. Yes, exactly. Oh, that's fucking good. Yeah. That is what's happening here. And the hole's just gonna keep getting deeper. But also, you know, Vriska is, not really helping the situation at all. Oh my. Oh, doggone it, really? This is why I need your help, Miss Vriska. I didn't see anything wrong with any of that at all. Here I am, going about thinking what I'm saying to everyone is tickety-boo, and it turns out it's all been a load of cattywampus fiddle-faddle. Jesus fucking Christ. Jake right now? Then he will reach the seas. Oh, yes. Ooh. Yes, a YouTube link from Max. Those are always good. Oh my god! It's fucking Scrubs! I love Scrubs. I was watching this show with my family when it was on Netflix, and then it got taken off Netflix. I'm still a little upset about it because we only got through like 3 seasons. But yes, that is indeed Jake at the moment digging his own fucking grave. But yeah, fucking Netflix. Oh my god, you know, my dad was saying today, they're paying the stars of Friends $2.2 million a person to do a special for HBO to celebrate the fact that HBO purchased Friends from Netflix for like $4.2 or $420 million. I think it was $420 million or something. Some $42 million, something like that. It involved those numbers and the word million, and it was very big and very bonkers. Again, well, cut off before it started to get mediocre. Yeah. But, well, cause like the thing is that, you know, Friends stayed on Netflix because they paid big bucks to get it to stay on Netflix because people started screaming. But HBO bought it off them because apparently my dad was saying this thing he was reading. They were saying the statistics was like Friends was like number 1 most viewed in the UK, I think, and like number 2 most viewed in the US or something like that. Or maybe the countries were the other way around, but it was like literally one of their most viewed shows, so they really didn't want to get rid of it, but HBO bought it off of them, and now they're doing this like special reunion thing with all the actors and shit, and I'm just like, oh my god. HBO Sesame Street had its budget slashed so severely most of the human cast hasn't been seen in ages. Fuck. I didn't even know HBO bought Sesame Street. That's fucking awful though. Like, the amounts of money being thrown around in this equation are just like fucking ridiculous. Like, goddamn. Like, that's just so much fucking money. It's, They came back for the 50th anniversary thing, but surrounding that. Yeah, no, that's a shame, because Sesame Street was like, it's good, it's some good shit, I think. I didn't really get to watch a lot of Sesame Street. I didn't get a channel that played Sesame Street, I don't think. Or maybe I did, and I was just like, you know, the age that children are when they watch Sesame Street, which is very little and not having a good memory. But yeah, it's like they're paying these big bucks for this fucking mediocre ass sitcom and screwing over their educational children's programming. Like, that's fucking backwards. Oh man, this is the nicest present anyone's ever gotten me. So that gives you an idea of what Vriska thinks of this situation. She's addressing you now, ignoring Jake's question. A predatory shark smile spans her pointy face. You must have known things were getting bad with Davros. In a different way than usual, I mean. He just kind of stopped responding in the same way he did before. And not even because of his fakey fraud confidence. He just said no good can come of talking to me. And he's fucking right and good for him. Yes, Max, precisely, like tossing a kitten into the jaws of a hungry fucking lion. So you brought me a new nerdy loser. This rules. Well, that wasn't exactly what you expected, although now that you think about it, what did you expect? Why didn't you expect this? Pretty much anyone could have seen this coming. Mm-hmm. Hey! Except Jake, of course. I may have my little quirks and quibbles, but that doesn't mean I'm a loser. If you weren't a lady, I dare say such slanderous language would earn you a one-way ticket to Fisticuffs Island. Which, now that I think about it, is more or less an appropriate moniker for my permanent residence. Oh my god. How do you like them, Granny Smith apples? Oh god. He's so freaking amazing. Ugh, this is hilarious. I've never met anyone who makes me feel so good about myself. I'm so lucky to be cool. Excuse me, but I haven't heard hide nor hair of an apology yet, Miss Rude Alien Girl. Lovely. At least, Jake is standing up for himself? But you get the feeling that this enthusiastic bravado wouldn't hold up if the issue was an interpersonal one with his friends. Either way, Vriska is not backing down. She sizes Jake up, stepping forward to intimidate him. Do you really want to fight? Because I get the feeling you're whatever your planet's equivalent of gullible is. I may not know what that means, but I've never once backed down from a scrum, and I'm not about to start now, chum! Whoa, no! You are not going to let two of your best friends, a category which includes all of your friends, throw down right in front of you. Especially not after Vriska compared Jake to Tavros. Doesn't she remember the consequences of fighting Tavros? Doesn't she want things to go differently here? Wait. What's that supposed to mean? Oh no, you didn't mean any offense. You know Vriska's been through a lot, and her past mistakes should be viewed within that context, but you know Vriska didn't mean to hurt Tavros as much as she did. Right? This was the subject of an interesting conversation on a Discord that was, just kind of bringing back up a couple of the old pester logs, like a conversation between John and Vriska where she kind of says, well, I technically tried to kill him before. I didn't mean to paralyze him. I meant to kill him. Which, but again, Doc Scratch's involvement in that situation is heavy. He was heavily involved in her pushing her to actually move on that. You like Vriska? Apologize? Not likely. Vriska is no longer having fun. She's turned to you now, her mouth set in a line, fists clenched at her side. You remember how magical it seemed to have earned her friendship, and how easily Vriska can lash out when she thinks her friends have turned on her. You think you know what went down between me and Tavros? Tavros was almost as pathetic as this guy. I was trying to help him get stronger. But every time I did, he just folded like a loser. He barely even tried to fight back. He was too scared and wimpy. And everyone always gets mad at me for pushing him, but that's what our planet was going to do to him. If he doesn't get stronger, he'll die. Trying to protect him from danger now is just letting that happen later. I would even say I'm the only one who's ever really cared about him. At least I tried to help him shape up. Okay, that's... Understood. I understand why you thought you were doing something good. Doesn't change the fact that the end result was fucked up. Oh boy, another YouTube link. Yeah, that was a very big mistake. Oh my goodness. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's true. That is pretty applicable to Vriska trying her best, but boy was that the wrong way to go about that. Another Dirk? Well, we do get into a little bit of Vriska Dirk comparison stuff in a hot minute, I think. You almost forgot Jake is here. But at this, he makes an indignant noise, and you turn to see that his anger and distress has ratcheted up several notches. Well, pardon me, Spider... Fuck, I forgot he says that. Spider Smurfette. Holy shit. Well, pardon me, Spider Smurfette, but it doesn't sound like you were much of a friend at all. Jake. Stop digging. Stop it. Put the shovel down. Throw it away. Oh, God. You nudge Jake, trying to let him know that Vriska can be a little scary, and it might not be best to push her on this, but Jake isn't listening. No matter how much you might think you're doing this fellow a favor, from what you said, he really was scared. From what you've said, he was really scared and sad. And I'm sorry, but that doesn't make someone stronger. It just makes him scared. Even if you think it's good for him, or even if he said it's what he wanted. And here's where the projection comes in. All the way down with the fairy. All the way down there. Yep, he is gonna meet some sea dwellers. But yes, another Dirk. Well, here's some projection. Like, maybe he was talking about having a fighting partner when he was talking about having a fighting partner, what he really wanted was companionship due to being alone all the time. And to be totally candid, it's hard to believe you didn't know that. Which means it really is more about what you want than what's best for him, even though you keep saying it's what's best for him while making it really hard to argue, which makes it really hard to argue. Anyway, if you ask me, you're a rotten friend, and I don't think I want you to be one of mine after all. Woo! So, recap. All of this is, so much projection. Because he's looking at the situation, and he's seeing his own situation with Dirk, but he's not quite addressing it as that. Like, oh, I just realized there actually is names next to these, but they're in white text, makes it impossible to see. But yeah. You might think he was doing me a favor. He was really scared and sad. That's how Jake was feeling. You know. Terrifying robot doesn't make you stronger. Just makes you scared. Even if you think it's good for him. Or maybe he said he wanted it. Maybe he just wanted a good friend. Jake just wanted a good paleo. Hard to believe you didn't know that. See, that's the kicker, is that, like, deep down, somewhere in there, underneath that big pile of bottles, bottled up emotions, he knows. Projecting so hard you could use him to show IMAX movies. Yeah. Oh, yes, and the Vriska sprites are just amazing as always. But, oh, yeah. God. So on some level, he knows that Dirk should know him better than this after they've been friends for so long. More about what you want than what's best for him, even though you keep saying it's what's best for him, which makes it really hard to argue. Dirk! You're a rotten friend, and I don't think I want you to be one of mine after all. But he would never say that to Dirk or about Dirk. It's just like, he's so fucking close. So fucking close. Before Vriska can respond and almost inevitably make things worse, you cut her off. Enough is enough. You tell her you're sorry for making assumptions. You know she was doing the best she could with her raw deal she was given. You know she was doing the best she could with the raw deal she was given in this culture. You offer her a quick thank you for this hellish social interaction and ask for some time alone with your incipient friend here. I love that. A quick thank you for this hellish social interaction. Vriska still looks annoyed, and there's a moment where you're scared she won't let it go. But she does, stepping back and rearranging her facial expression to apathy. You guess pushing it would mean admitting she cares about your opinion of her. Whatever! Talk to you later, nerds. And... scene. Vriska out. God, what a fucking disaster that was. After she leaves, you put a comforting hand on Jake's shoulder. That got pretty raw, huh? It kinda seemed like in the end there, he wasn't talking about Vriska at all. Like there was something else he wanted to say all that, like there was someone else he wanted to say all that stuff to? Huh? No, this has nothing to do with me. It was about some weird alien situation. And we're right back to square one. You gently suggest that this might be one of those situations the two of you were talking about earlier, where Jake is suppressing the truth because it's inconvenient to acknowledge. Doesn't it bear some slight resemblance to a situation in his own friend group? Jake averts his gaze, clearly uncomfortable. No way, all my friends are best in show! And even if what you're implying is true, it's different when it's your friends. A man can't get by without his bros, so sometimes he has to make allowances. Oof. That's for, like, you know, if you have a friend who, like, chews with their mouth open and it really annoys you, but you let it slide because they're a good person. Not for... my best bro sent me a hell murder robot that haunts my very existence. Certain, let's say, eccentricities are just what you have to put up with when best friends are involved. Again, there's degrees to this. And you're pushing it real far. No, they're not. You're allowed to hold your friends accountable. This is weapons-grade interpersonal truth you're spouting, but Jake doesn't look enlightened. Instead, he's growing red in the face with indignance. What would you know about it anyway? Not to be rude, but it's a very personal situation between a fella and his buddies. Aww, it's so... God, there's no awareness happening. Because, like, he's saying it's a very personal situation, but he just went off on a whole fucking diatribe about Vriska's very personal situation with her and her buddies. Like... Yeah, just want to scream, stop. Please, Jake. I don't think I appreciate what you're implying. You don't want to get frustrated, but Jake did ask for your help. The two of you came here because you were going to face up to the hard truths about Jake's life. Doesn't Jake want to do that? Well, of course I do. I'm ready to take a hard look in the old rum peeper, and don't you doubt it. It's just that when it comes to my friends, I didn't think you were saying any of them were bad. I thought you were encouraging me to take things in a more forthright direction because, well... Oh dear. Here comes. Tugs at collar nervously. Because of their feelings towards me? Gosh, it sounds stupid when I say it like that. I hope you know I'm not some kind of pompous braggadocio making myself out to be some slick Casanova type. I'm probably just making it up. I'm the kind of guy who gets confused easily, especially with the number of concussions I've sustained over the years. A real beef-witted bozo, that's me. Oh, honey. But more than once I've gotten an inkling that some of my friends might be giving me the old eagle eye. firing up the courting maneuvers, if you get my drift. So when you said things weren't right between me and my friends, that's sort of where I thought the personal change train was heading. And an impression only further bolstered when you proceeded to introduce me to your blue arachnid-themed friend. I thought you remembered my sapphire sirens from my room. What? Don't tell me you bite rocks or something? You know, Neytiri and all that. Oy. Oh no, so this whole thing, the big misunderstanding. Jake, thought we were getting places in the first place? Nope. All over his head. He was going with the most surface level conflict between his friends that he could recognize. It was a sweet gesture, although just so you're aware, she's a little too young for me to take that kind of interest. Yes, the 3-year difference. I appreciate the thought, though. Just some constructive criticism for next time. Oh boy. Now you're tempted yourself to say aloud some kind of goofy RP action indicating your embarrassment. You don't, though, because it sounds stupid when Jake does that. Alpha kids use bad romance shit. Yeah, the alpha kids just that's just fucking 16-year-old drama is a trip. And I'm not saying this to be condescending, I promise. I'm saying this from personal fucking experience. From about 15 or 16 up to 18, 19. It's a whole thing. And then you become a young adult, and then it's a whole other kind of drama bullshit's happening. But, the alpha kids are just the peak all that romance drama. Yeah. And again, I'm saying this because I am thinking back on my own experiences as a teen. Not aiming to force any stereotype. I'm just thinking back to high school and being oh boy. Thinking someone likes you romantically is the worst thing ever. It can, if you're not feeling the same way, it can be a very uncomfortable situation for sure. Jeez, this is a mess. This kid has issues on issues, and when you think you've put your finger on one, it slides away to reveal 3 more. You're playing personal growth whack-a-mole over here, but you gamely draw yourself up and plunge onward, determined. Okay, you tell Jake, so if that's what he thought you were going to talk about, let's talk about it. How does it make him feel, thinking his friends are all attracted to him? What does he plan to do about it? Oh, I think all that malarkey will work itself out over time. I figure I'll just wait until someone brings it up, and then I'll just go along with what they think we should do. Really? That's his strategy? It seems remarkably lackadaisical, and it gives you that sinking feeling again about what's in store for future Jake. Does he actually return any of those feelings? Sure I do. My friends are the cat's pajamas. I don't mind saying I really love them. Right, of course, but is there any one of them he feels differently about? What would he say if, for example, Jane asked him out? I'd say yes, of course. How could I say no to a top Sheba like Janie? She's smart as a whip with a mug to match. Alright, and what about Roxy? A fellow would have to be daft as a doorknob to turn down Roxy. She's a genius tech hacker spy like in all my favorite movies. And Strider? Are you kidding? Strider's my best bro in the world, and a mighty strapping gent if we're getting into it. I can't think of any reason to say no to a proposition like that from my best bud. Yeah, just more screaming stop in chat. Oh dear. The way Jake conceives of things is just far enough off from your own viewpoint you can't help feeling like you're passing by each other without really connecting. For example, he doesn't have to have a reason to say no to a friend asking him out. It comes down to his feelings. Does he really have strong feelings for any of these people? Like, stronger feelings than he has for Neytiri? Well, hey now, that's not really fair. Neytiri is the perfect woman. Quiet because you're playing Stardew, but Jake, why? I know, it gets good. It gets interesting, it gets good. Let's keep reading. No, you insist. It is fair. If someone has feelings for him, he should not be with them unless he has stronger feelings for that real flesh and blood person than he does for a poster of Neytiri. It's important. Well, if you put it that way, I don't know if I've ever had feelings like that. I don't even know if I'm capable of those kinds of feelings. So, this, of course, we're getting into now the asexual and or aromantic headcanons, right? These types of headcanons were more popular a number of years ago, but it's, we're getting into Jake equals Arrow. Yeah, that's what we're exploring here. You steered us onto this path first because you don't hate you guys that much and make you sit through this and the second one. Jake Arrow has you like eyes emoji. Yeah, so we're getting some Arrow Jake exploration here, which is very good, and that's what I meant by saying that we'll be steering into, you know, better, like, more interesting territory and kind of exploring the character. You don't believe in Miss P-Read is that dumb. But yeah, I agree with this narrative decision, Max. If that's the case, then he needs to be prepared to tell his friends that. It's not like he has to have these conversations now, but someday the feelings his friends have need to be addressed, and he needs to be ready to turn them down. He needs to make these decisions. He can't just wait for things to resolve on their own and deal with the consequences later. Wow. He doesn't sound nearly as excited about personal growth as he did before. He just sounds dejected. I must say, you've given me a lot to think about. That's a good thing, you remind him. He's learning important things. Well, sorry, but a lot of people tell me it's important for me to learn various things. And for sure sometimes they're right. I've never assumed the image of a chap who knows everything. But you've also been telling me I can stand up for myself sometimes, make my own decisions about what's right instead of letting other people tell me how to live. And I just don't think I agree with you on this. He sneaks a guilty look at you from under his sad, bowed head. You might be Eric, so you don't really feel that thing that strong other than when you're shipping characters. Phoenix! Hello! Saw someone mad earlier that people headcanon Jake as Ara because they headcanon him as autistic, and people should stop headcanoning autistic coded characters as Arrow all the time. I heard about that fuss. That discourse, so to speak. Sorry, fuss is a little bit demeaning. I mean, I thought discourse is a whole lot better. Yeah, that's something that I intended to read up on a little bit before stream, but I didn't get around to it, just because when it was actually going down, I was not in the mood for discourse. So I do apologize that I am not better informed on, that specific line of discussion. But yeah, I did hear that was kind of a discussion that was had. Although I do know, I'm fairly certain the person who made the original post about Autistic Jake with regards to Pesterquest was an autistic person who was relating to those experiences. I think. I'm fairly certain of that. I'm not 100% certain of that. Please don't quote me on it. But in that specific case, I don't think it's very nice to be like, you can't relate to these experiences. But, when you're doing the fuck, marry, kill, you just want to be friends. Sometimes you want to, but your brain's like, nah. You wrote things and your keyboard deleted it. Oh, rip. But, yeah, I do wish I could speak to that issue a little more, but because I'm not fully informed, I feel like I shouldn't attempt to speak to it, because I'll probably, muck some things up, just to be safe. But yes, I know that was a discussion that was had. This guy. What I mean is, I like making my pals happy, even if I'm not always sure about if I want the things they want, and I can't imagine the consequences could really be that bad. Oh dear, child. I think that in matters of the heart, I'm fine just going with the flow. No offense, but the way you're advocating I go about it seems hard and sad. I don't want to hurt people. You know what? Sometimes conflict resolution is hard and sad, but it's for the best in the end, my dude. I really think it's best if I just sit back and see how things work out. And if someone asks me to do something, I might as well try it. That's just the kind of adventure boy I am. Like, I understand what he's trying to get at, but that's really not a good way to approach romantic relationships. You know, just kind of being like, fuck it. I'll get involved in the situation even though I don't know if I actually have any feelings. You want to respect Jake's choices, but you can't help the exasperation rising up in you. Sure, he can decide how he wants to conduct his friendships, but the approach he's talking about is really unhealthy. If he wants to do right by his friends, he has to be honest with them and with himself. Otherwise, it's not fair to anyone. I see what you're saying, but if you want my 100% bona fide opinion, I don't think I can do that. I guess we have different ideas about what we were getting into with this. He can do it, though. All he has to do is try. Jake is shaking his head. I'm sorry, I know you were really trying to help. I'm sure you're an excellent compadre, just like Spider-Girl said, but this isn't working for me. Maybe you should just take me home now? I can figure out some way to deal with the brobot. He's still well below the average Jake level of energy. You can see that you really affected him, but you're far from confident that your intervention is going to make any difference in the long run. Despite his seeming earnestness, you guess Jake wasn't as ready for change as he thought he was. Wait a fucking second. Is this a bad end? A horrible powerlessness threatens to overwhelm you. All at once, it makes you furious. This isn't fair. Jake gave you a choice between two options. You chose to help him face his problems. You know that was the right choice. You didn't do anything wrong. You were kind and patient. You talked to him sincerely and pushed him in the right direction. You deserve a good end. You deserve to save him. Save him, in particular, gives us a strong window into MSPA readers' mindset when approaching these conflict resolution situations. Because we're talking about all of the negative or unhealthy mindsets that Jake is having when approaching these friendship situations. Save him, thinking that you're coming in to save him. That's an unhealthy way to approach a conflict resolution situation with a friend as well. Thinking that you're going to be their savior, or aiming to be their savior. But you can tell Jake is emotionally closing up. You're willing to bet the conversation the two of you just had was among the most candid of his life, and he isn't ready for another. You want so badly to help him. You know exactly the changes he needs to make, but you can't make those changes for him. He needs to do it himself. And he's just not ready. Maybe he'll never be. Oh, you hate this. You hate Jake and you hate yourself. Making people's lives better is the one thing that's given you your piecemeal existence any meaning, and he's taking this away from you. His stupid inability to face his issues is ruining your life. That's also not a great approach. You know, having the purpose of your existence be something that's, like, very externally dependent on other people's cooperation. You linger as long as you can, but eventually you have to do it. You gotta take the L. Bad end, you guess. Yeah. Just thinking about SU. Okay, I'll peep at that thread after stream today. Although, well, let's load in here. It's been another whole hour, so I think I should take a little break. So I am going to take 5 again, just because we do have another whole ending to get through, so this is a little bit of a longer one than usual. The good end is shorter. So there's that. But it, still, will take some time, so I'm going to rest my voice again. Oh, that's not how it happened. MSP reader, probably. Yeah. Oh, dear, 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 this boy. Okay. So, we will do next ending in 5 minutes. I'm gonna rest my voice, get some more water, and we'll be back. Hello there. Take that break text off of that screen. And get that sound back on. It's time to do the good end. Do not. You are about to say yes. Every part of you is straining to say yes and fulfill your life's purpose. Your real life's purpose. Not like before when you were being mind controlled to pursue friendship on whatever shallow or unsatisfying level was possible. This desire to help, to make your mark in whatever small positive way you can wrangle, is something you've figured out for yourself. It matters. But when you're about to open your mouth, you stall. A deep existential hopelessness washes over you, a kind that you thought you were past by now. You know what? Fuck it. Oh my goodness, I think you were number 1 battery. Goodbye. Oh, that meant low battery. Oh no. Have a lovely evening. I'm sending my vibes to Brazil. Oh dear, I can't believe I missed that message. Fuck. Timeline 3. Swallow your pride and do nothing. Yes, you care. But honestly, you are exhausted. That motherfucking compassion fatigue is a big ass mood. It's so much work coaxing teens through personal revelations with no reward except the temporary abatement of your deep soul level feeling of narrative irrelevance. You need a break. Why not give yourself a freebie? You tell Jake that you don't think he needs your help. It's enough for right now that he's realized there's a problem. There's no need to swallow down all your personal growth pills at once. Jake looks abjectly relieved. If I can shoot straight from the hip, that's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. I think I've done enough already, too. Woo, this has been a great talk. I feel like we're really firing on all cylinders, friendship-wise. If you were a past version of yourself, that would have made you really happy. Instead, a sick feeling of guilt is poisoning your guts. You were about to touch on something real there, and you know it was wrong to pull back from it. You're not doing Jake any favors. Still, you give him a weak smile and offer him the best friend-making tool you know. Are there any faraway friends he's interested in connecting with? Boy, howdy, what a proposition! Why, I feel like one of those movie characters who's offered near unlimited powers out of nowhere, like Bruce Almighty, ready to lasso the moon and damn the consequence on those pesky tides. There is someone I've had a hankering to meet for a little tete-a-tete. Remember when I regaled you with the tale of my grandma? Oof. You're not sure you're gonna be able to reunite this kid with his dead grandma. That seems like one of those things you wouldn't be allowed to do, despite the supposed limitlessness of your powers. You'd probably be blocked by that weird force, the one that seems to have a power that supersedes zapping anywhere in any time, place, or dimension. You don't like to think about that force too hard. No, my stalwart chum. I've been corresponding in an epistolary fashion with a version of my grandma when she was a young girl. My pen pal buddy Jade. I understand if it's asking too much, but I'd love to meet her. She always said we'd meet someday in some roundabout confusing who's-he-what's-it fashion, and I was pleased as a passel of possums to hear it. But recently she stopped replying, right in the final run-up to the vaunted finish line. I've been all a-Twitter with worry, I don't mind telling you. Do you think we could take a hop, skip, and a jump over to her lodgings? What a relief. You actually know Jade. You can take him to Jade right now. Jake smiles a big, goofy grin at you. You should feel happy, you tell yourself sternly. This is a good thing to do. He said himself that you're fixing a concern of his. But the yawning malaise inside you only grows. You like to think of yourself as an agent of positive change, but here you are again, nothing but a glorified interdimensional taxi service. Whatever, who cares? At least he'll be with someone he loves. You grab Jake's hand and take him to his family. You expect the normal non-event of your zappy powers. But instead, there's a sick wrenching feeling, a kind of squeezing like you're not the right shape for wherever you're going. It steals your breath, and then it's gone. Nervously, you open your eyes. This isn't the right time. What the fuck? Does this have to do with how your powers are changing? Sure, you were distracted and gloomy when you zapped, but you have no idea what just happened. Slap self and still smiling. Hoo hoo hoo, off we go. Yeah. You were distracted and gloomy, and guess what vibes this mansion has? And there's a couple of interesting things to note about this particular version of the mansion. So we're gonna bounce back. This is something I have to give kudos to the person who posted this in a Discord server I'm in, who posted about this. But if we just bounce here, yeah. You thought it was like a Hive Swap update? So between the two, this is the one that was used in the Pesterquest. This is the one that's in. Wait a second. I'm noticing that the red gun is the same. Did they update the game? I think they must have updated the game files when they realized what they did. Because, I mean, y'all can't see what I'm seeing on my screen right now, which is Pesterquest in the background with this browser in the foreground, being able to look at what images are in Pesterquest. But I mean, like, I'll switch back and forth to show you, like, the red gun, the red and green bowl on the other side here. Those are the biggest gives. Like, the plushie that in the chest in the back that are being covered by Jake. Wait a second. In this screenshot, in this background, the golden twisty thing on this table here in the hallway is completely missing. So I'm assuming then that they realized, oh shit, we used the wrong background. They swapped in the one that they actually used in Hive Swap, but then there's still missing parts. A stuffed Linux penguin? Kinda looks like it. But this is 1994, so you tell me whether or not Linux existed then. I don't know the history of Linux. But, like, if we go back here, we can see you know, like this, it's this thing here that's completely missing from the image that they swapped in, I guess. Swapped in. Womp womp. But, yeah, because where this mistake would have even happened was, I was not aware that there's a whole page here of unused graphics, that I believe these are all found in the game files somehow. Actually, I would be interested to know exactly where these were sourced from. But, you know, it's like the original posters for Joey's room were all of the copyrighted stuff. Linux has been around since 91. Okay, so there is a distinct possibility that that is a Linux penguin. And of course, like, these posters were all mock, like, parody kind of posters in the actual game. They swapped all of these out. A lot of the images or imagery they kept mostly the same, and with just some minor changes. Aside from Bubsy, I don't know why Bubsy of all of these was the one that they were able to keep in the game. But yeah, I didn't know that these were available, but then of course we have this here as well. And here's the hallway stuff. So hallway dark background and hallway dark objects. These are the two older. They had this like background file and then a separate layer for the kind of interactable objects in the hallway, or for other interactable objects in the hallway. So we see unused here, this one, which was originally there, but with this, and then used, we see this. So they just swapped in, I guess, this particular image file without realizing that it was missing this piece over here. So that's neat. I didn't, I had not realized that they updated that out of the game. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I put all those links in the right spot. Okay. It's a plush wild thing, too. Yeah. But, yeah, it was one of the things I think they edited, for the official version. Because they were trying to avoid copyright stuff, right? But again, it's like, I can't remember who I was having this conversation with. I'm pretty sure it was on stream with someone in chat, about how... No, maybe that was on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter, actually. Okay, now I'm remembering. Yeah. But it was like, if they're able to get away with all of the copyrighted stuff in the Homestuck published books, it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't be able to get away with it as well in the Hive Swap games, being that it's, you know, the copyrighted material, so to speak, is being used in a similar fashion. But I also don't know copyright law, so take that with a grain of salt. You're not at Jade's house. Wherever you are, it feels deeply wrong. The wrongness jangles through your bones and teeth like vibrations of a jackhammer. You're not supposed to be here. You have got to get out of here. You grab Jake with a grimace and zap more carefully. Hey, look, a gun! Hi, Jade! Ah, there we go. You breathe a sigh of relief, which is sadly cut short as you turn and see Jade shoving the muzzle of a rifle in your face once again. You back up, hands raised. Jade, no, it's just you, her friend. You've already been through all these wacky misunderstandings shenanigans with firearms. So then she pulls out her gun. Yep, good old Jade. I know who it is. I just think you shouldn't be here. What? Don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything you've done for me. You have no idea what it meant to be able to meet my friends in person. But the last time you came here, things got dangerous, and I started to wonder if you have any idea what the consequences are of what you're doing. That would be bringing Nepeta to Jade's house, and then accidentally zapping both Jade and Dave back to fucking Alternia. Which was rather much of a disaster. Indeed. Okay, there's obviously something she needs to get off her chest. And you want to hear it, but can she put the gun down? You both know she's not actually going to shoot you. Oh, right. I guess the gun was a little over the top. But you startled me and I got really mad. Ever since you left last time, I've been thinking about what you did with me and Dave. Even though Beck didn't stop you, I don't think he wanted me to be traveling around like that. I know you're a nice person and you don't mean to do anything bad, but I think it's impossible to have powers like yours without being a little corrupted by them. When you mess around in our lives, that can have serious consequences, but you always leave afterward and you don't live out those consequences with us. It was great to meet my friends, but you know what? I would have met them anyway in the game. I can't help thinking it would have been better for things to play out like they were supposed to. So I'm sorry, but I just don't want you interfering in my life anymore. I think it's good for everyone if you just leave us alone from now on. I mean, like, horrible moment for her to say this, but she's got a lot of good points there. You know, that we may be seeing this fun, zappy journey helping people out, but we don't see the afterwards. Neither does MSPA Reader. They just get the fuck out of there. Ouch, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. It hurts to hear, but how could you argue with that? You tell Jade you don't want to do anything that makes her uncomfortable. There's just, like, one little thing that you maybe already did. Ta-da! Oh my god, look at the two of them! Ah! You gesture to Jake. He's huddled behind you, clearly having second thoughts about this. Maybe it's the gun, but then again, Jake is pretty comfortable around guns. Probably it's just the fear of the mortifying ordeal of being known. Who the fuck are you? Oh my god. Two of them! Yes, oh my god. Mortifying ordeal of being known reminds me of... this post that I saw the other day, wherein the guy who wrote the original quote that got taken out of context as this meme actually wrote a response to it. So I just thought, that's neat! But yeah, who the fuck are you? Y'all, I can't fucking... God. Were any of y'all on Tumblr when the most popular girls in school went viral? Cause... I just... It immediately springs to mind when I read that. And fun fact... I got bored and decided to see what it was doing. I think it was about a year ago I googled it or something. And it actually had it had like 4 seasons or something. Like, it kept going. They like, you know, used, was it Patreon or Kickstarter? To fund it. Oh god. Oh, Sneak Cat, you don't know most popular girls in school? Oh, wow. It was... It's a lot. It's a lot. If you want, I mean, like, you can find it on YouTube. You've seen the GIFs, yeah. Yeah, if you're ever curious, it's all still there. Oh my god. But yeah, that just... Wow, 2013 was a year. You watch as he clears his throat and fidgets, his hands twitching at his sides like he's thinking about hanging onto his own guns for comfort. I'm your grandson? Jake? That's me. Jade bursts into tears. She flings herself forward and throws her arms around Jake. Oh, I know I just said I didn't want any interference, but this isn't fair. I can't believe you're here. When they pull apart, Jake's eyes are watery as well. Oh! He's taller than Jade, being a few years older, but from the shy way he looks at her, you can tell he still sees her as the authority figure here. You can suddenly see how much Jake must have admired his grandmother. Fine. You're still in a mood, but this is heartwarming as hell. You intentionally tune out the conversation a little as Jade and Jake gush at each other. It just seems really private. They're family, after all. You don't have any place in this conversation, which only adds to your frustrated feeling of being help-blocked. It's great that this is making Jade and Jake so happy, but it really has nothing to do with you at all. I guess I can't really give you the tour since you grew up in the same place as me. But maybe we can take advantage of this opportunity. We both grew up alone, right? Isn't there anything you always wanted to do but couldn't do it with only one person? Holy hell, Jade, that's a rip snorter of an idea. You've got a splendiferous mind up in that noggin of yours. Ah, it's weirding me out how much you sound like my grandpa. It's making me miss him too. But I'm really happy I get to spend time with you. Me too. As to your question, there's one thing that comes to the forefront in the old think tank. You know how it is being a kid alone in your room on a godforsaken island in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. You start entertaining all kinds of fancies. Of course. Well, there's this cosplay I've been trying to make work for years. I'm not very good at cosplay, and I haven't had anyone to help me bring my vision to life. Cosplay! Have you seen the picture with all 4 and their eye sparkle sprites? I haven't, but that sounds so wonderful. Oh my goodness, I can like picture it in my head. So cute. Is that the kind of activity you'd be suited for? OMG, I would love that! What's the character? Only the best and bravest archaeologist / adventurer of all time, Laura Croft. Ah! Oh, wow. So, you want to be a sexy Tomb Raider? I think I'll have to stop picturing you as my grandpa. But I would love to help with that. To be frank, Jade, I don't really think of Miss Croft as sexy. Oh, I know some unmannerly rogues like to comment on the size of her bazoombas, but... Sorry, I just couldn't finish that sentence after saying the word bazoombas out loud. God fucking damn it, this kid. Oh, I know some unmannerly rogues like to comment on the size of her bazoombas, but from where I'm sitting, she is a consummate professional. Yo, I just made the fucking connection. Rogues. Rogue like Roxy making comments about Jane's butt. I hope that was on purpose. You say that very fondly, but yeah, Jake really says stuff, huh? You really want to cosplay? Yeah, that's a mood. I just admire her moxie. Oh, oops, sorry. I guess I was just making an assumption based on her outfit. I guess that was really rude of me. To tell you the truth, I have never seen anything sexy about shorts. I aspire to the freedom Lara's thighs get to experience every day. I think it's a beautiful dream. A man can wear short shorts without wanting everyone to get all randied up about it, you know what I mean? Oh boy, now I'm thinking about Earthsea. And how Jake and his booty shorts became like an international sex symbol. Oh dear. John feels like crying and he has no idea why. Oh yeah. Poor Jake. Yeah, this poor fucking kid. Of course he can. But what about you, my juvenile grandma friend? This can't just be a cosplay party for yours truly alone. Is there anyone you've been wanting to inhabit the garments of? Not really, but it would be fun to make a costume for me too. I could be Mr. Coxcomb. He's one of my favorite Manthro chaps. Oh my fucking god, that fucking killed me. Of all the things to dress up as, a fucking Manthro chap. Which, as Hussey stated in the fucking author notes, Manthro chaps are to humanimals as squiddles are to horror terrors. God damn. Jade turns to you, her demeanor towards you considerably softened. Hey, I'm sorry I was so mad earlier. Honestly, I was scared of what you were doing. It really shook me up to find myself on an alien planet. It felt like we shouldn't be doing it. What's a Manthro chap? One moment, and I will link you to a page in the comic with Manthro chap on it. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, The search feature on Homestuck.com is not functional. I searched Manthrochap, correct spelling and everything, and nothing came up. Okay, one page came up when I put a space, but I know that it's mentioned on more than one page. Anyway. Oh, hi TJB. Welcome. And Phoenix, that is a page with Manthrochaps. It's the introductory page that explains what they are. Homestuck search feature really do be functioning like Tumblr's, huh? That is to say, not at all. Basically. I mean, it's like, it's just that this, like, the search feature that Homestuck has and that Tumblr has and, you know, so on and so forth is relying, it doesn't have any sort of predictive or corrective engine. It's relying strictly on finding exactly what you type in. So that's why it seems like it's kind of crappy, because we're used to things like Google that will do like predictive text and like correct your spelling errors for you and show you things that it thinks is relevant, but the most basic forms of search engine just don't fucking do that. And it you know, gets into more complex coding stuff to make it work like that, right? No, that's not as bad as you thought. Yeah, they're, I mean, like, you know, like squiddles. They're just kind of a little squiddy, but then you look at the horror tears and it's like, oof. But yeah, I think that's kind of what Hessie meant by Manthrochaps to humanimals as squiddles to horror terrors. But I shouldn't have taken it out on you. I know your powers aren't your fault. Do you want to join us? We can make a costume for you too. Do you want to join us? We can make a costume for you too. Oh yes, please do. Jade, this specimen right here has been nothing but a positively fantabulous friend to me all along. Have you? Have you? All you did was tow him along on a little inter-timeline jaunt. You don't feel like you've done Jake much good. And are you even really friends with Jake, or are you just piggybacking off of facilitating his friendship with Jade? It's fine, you guess. Things are going fine. Even well, but it feels unsatisfying. No real nutritional value. And this line, of course, had people going, meat or candy, meat or candy. With the bad end being meat and the good end being the candy. I mean, it does make sense. You don't feel good about what you've done, but you guess you might as well get a cool costume out of it. You tell Jake and Jade you know exactly who you want to dress like. The three of you set to work together. Fucking Marvis. Primo choice. Perfect choice for MSP Reader's cosplay, and I fucking love this end card so much. It's so... I love, like, the sass of Jake's, like, stance, too. And Jade in the back is, like... I'm not even gonna fucking go there. That just... Oh, my God! Okay. Going to imagine MSPA Reader and Marvis cosplay in every route after this one! Yes! He's fucking killing that outfit. The fuck? Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Oh, a gunshot or firework. Oh, at your place of residence. I hope it was a firework. We have our good end here. Tally Hoedown. You threw a rad cosplay party with Jake and Jade. And the credits for this volume we have, oh right, up here, Magdalena Clark, who also wrote Kanaya, and who wrote, among others, Vicaire for Hiveswap FriendSim. So, you know, we had a comment that I enjoy very much that Vicaire and Jake had the same writer, a very specific set of writing skills. And Aisha said, we hired Magdalena to write Vicaire initially because I knew her dazed mid-Atlantic radio announcer from 1932 voice was so powerful, and indeed it absolutely is. Quite powerful. Okay, and down here, art. Brea Rivera for the characters. Gorgeous. And backgrounds with Gina Chacon for Jake, as well as ending illustrations. Music, you go all the way down here. Toby Fox, Jake's theme, Riches to Ruins, Movement 2. Now, that is one that I, again, was like... Riches to Ruins, Movement 2. Oh, it's from The Wanderers. How did I not recognize that? I have listened to the whole Homestuck soundtrack a million times. I'm so sorry. I can't help you either. I don't remember either. But Riches to Ruins Movements 1 and 2 is track 10 from The Wanderers. Fuck. Let's see, can I find that on this here? Let's see. Midnight Crew, Felt, Alternium, Cherubim. No, it's not. Oh, The Wanderers is no longer on the Homestuck Bandcamp. So I'll have to link to that on YouTube. 3 or 4 hours worth of Flash content. Oh yeah. Fun fact, the night that Homestuck ended, after watching Act 7 and doing all of that crazed blogging, Jesus, I decided that I was going to rewatch every single Flash and Homestuck. I did not get through them all in one night because they're so fucking long. I was just going to watch all of the videos, not play all of the games. But, like, damn. Anyway, that's the track. I can't believe I didn't recognize that. I meant to Google that before streaming, but again, didn't have a lot of prep time for this one. But yeah, okay, so that's from The Wanderers then. Jake's theme, Riches to Ruins, Movement 2. And new programmer, Kohi. Andrew D. Kohi is best known for doing programming for Vast Error. So that's neat. And that brings us to the end of this volume. So, hello? There we go. My computer was like not. There we are. And I didn't forget this time, Double Pistols and a Wink. Meet Jake in Volume 12 of Pesterquest. I forgot to do this one for Jane, so I did Jane's yesterday, and I'm going over Jake's today. Pesterquest, Double Pistols and a Wink, Volume 12 out now. Jake English, Suns Out, Guns Out, Shorts, and things might get a little blue. And of course, the usual, we get the Discord emojis in the backgrounds. So that's interesting. They must have patched the game, but in the news post, it's still showing the old picture with the branded stuffed animal instead of the sufferer. Interesting. Well, that went a lot further overtime than I thought it would. It was a pet monster originally. Yeah. It's almost 2 a.m. God damn. Like, that went way more overtime than I thought it would. Well, shit. Here we are. I'm gonna go now. As you know, I'm running on fumes at the moment, just a little bit. So I'm gonna go to bed. First, though, I'm gonna check on the Anime Trending Awards, because Hoshiai no Sora, aka Stars Align, which is a fucking amazing anime that you should all watch, although please heed trigger warnings for sensitive content. There's lists out there that you can reference. It's up for 5 awards from the Anime Trending Awards, which started at 1 a.m. because I guess they're from a very different time zone than I am, the one that I am in. One last link. All right, for old time's sake.
Well, I guess maybe you might want to sleep. Oh, here we go.
Yes, it is sleep time. Okay. Yes, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Okay. Good night, good night. Hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you may be getting up to. Thanks for coming and hanging out. I know this one was a little longer than usual. Next stream will be on Wednesday. OneShot Part 6. We'll keep on moving through the refuge. We're about to go into the library. Okay. Thanks so much for hanging out. Good night, good night, good night. And I guess Kristen Mouthkins will play us out.